Hello, collective. This is actually Pray With Me. So, if this is your vibe in terms of messages, belief system, and when I say that, all things religious, spiritual, in that frequency, stay tuned. If not, you guys know I have other readings. And without further ado, let's get into this message. So, for a couple of days, I was struck by temptation, okay? And I say this to say, it's not like temptation is not gonna be around because you are on your P's and Q's when it comes to your life, you know? My prior self, okay, would say that, you know what? Beware what you're listening to, watching, associating with, etc., because it could influence your life. Okay, do not blend water and oil because it doesn't work chemistry wise. Okay, you can mesh it, you can make it fetch happen, but chemistry wise it's not supposed to be aligned. Okay, like that. And yes, I still stand by it, but it doesn't mean that we don't fall short of the glory of God. And this is what happened to me, and I'm just sharing that, you know, sometimes life can be tempting, and thus far I fell into it. But even through all of this tempting, okay, God is still in the midst of it all. For example, when the temptations came through and I myself just like, you know, it's not really that deep, God would be like sending people to knock on my door or create some sort of diversion for me to be like, okay, you know, this is not something that you can handle or balance. Because one thing that I have discussions about with me and my God is that He always teach me that balance is the key. Okay, there cannot be light without darkness, etc. We cannot always be love and light. You know, I always say sometimes we get angry, we get upset, we get happy, we get furious, and etc. That is good. Some people know how to balance that better than others. Okay, and I always say kudos to you because that is enlightenment. But yeah, in this case, I didn't know how to balance and go about the temptations that was around my corner. And you know, the mind is a very powerful thing because you can always convince yourself that it's okay as long as it doesn't, you know, inflict others or such and such, because that was always my go-to motive. And then God was like, this is not the vibe. So I had to shift. I had to change my chapter. I had to change the outlook on how I was viewing things. Now, a lot of people, if you're not spiritual, if you're not religious, they will probably see that, you know, my temptations are not really temptation wise. Me, I am somebody that is celibate, okay? So if I stray along away from that path, I myself would not, I would view it as sin because of my belief system, but I know the everyday man slash woman will be like, listen, everybody F's up sometime. Now, I'm talking about temptation in terms of like masturbation. I know it's pretty, you know, and again, scientifically based, all of this like is okay in the eyes of a man, if that makes sense. It's not like God is going to be frowned upon, you know, but when he takes over your life and he's excessive, I know that God knows that I should know that, we're doing a little bit too much, okay? Because I personally do know the difference between, getting spiritually attacked and then the temptation knocking at my door. Because let me tell you, I was not born a saint, okay? And I'm pretty sure that no human being is born a saint. And you can act a saint, aka righteous, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that we don't fall short of the glory of God and our past self, okay? And I know this is not one of those, I don't know, love and light struggle type of thing, but it's a struggle in terms of like, well, let me not fumble my words like that. Basically, the point of it all, we all get tempted. The realization is knowing when to see it as an issue in the eyes of God, okay? Because in the eyes of man, like I said, a lot of things that is temptation based is, the everyday man would be like, calm down, it's not that serious. But in the eyes of God, over time, it can be, okay? So this is why I'm sharing this, okay? Hey, it could just be me going through it. It could just be a lot of people, but I do know that we all get tempted at some point, and we just have to be stronger than that, stronger than temptation, okay? Because God did give us a spirit of strength and not of fear, and to have a sound mind. So we just have to stick by it, okay? So that is my little testimony. I am doing all right today, okay? This temptation-wise just lasted, I don't want to jinx myself, but it's just, a few days, but barely. But even that, because when you've been on the journey of healing, and then when you fall back to things that you thought that you were like, okay, this shouldn't really affect me, and it does, you feel guilty. But then again, speaking of that, God also said that guilt and remorse is something that is low vibrational. In the past, when I was really religious, it used to help me to do a full stop, right? But then I would get into like depression because of the sin that took place, aka the temptation that I allowed to happen. Because again, we all have choices, and you can choose to like engage or not. That's the thing. That's the free will, the gift of God here. And now I see things spiritually differently, because being in a depressive state is also not like the vibes, okay? But it's quite effective, I will say it's quite effective. So now God just said we just have to be smarter, because an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I know for a fact I'm quoting scriptures, I just don't know where in the Bible they are. But I do have like scripture-based cards, which we're just gonna shuffle and see, what comes out. I also want to mention that through it all, like I always say, no matter what it is, when you are God's, when you're His, it doesn't matter if you're in the depths of sin or temptation or even hell. Like when God recognizes you, He will pull you out of it. And that is the beauty of the Lord. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Oh, wow, okay. Oh my. And not me getting emotional. Hey. So it's Consumer Collective. So I'm just gonna add some cards just because it's a card reading. Not really. It's just me sharing myself. But I don't do diversions where I this it's gonna be like this. So basically oh, I'm gonna get so emotional. So I'm gonna do this. This is what I was in, the frequency. Now, mind you, I pray every day, okay? And I remember that, though in hindsight, I have been attacked, but like it's a different version, okay? Because we all go through tests and trials, okay? This is what makes us stronger. I remember I did this prayer because I'm a part of this group. I do like weekly prayers. Pretty awesome. They're a tarot card reader as well. And I was like the specific day when I was like, no. You know what? I think we're gonna keep it short. But yeah, basically, if you guys are struggling with anything similar or something else, I'm just pulling some cards for encouragement, okay? So yeah. Oh, speaking of this retreat from the outside world, like I mentioned in the beginning, like make sure like the world doesn't influence you as much, because it's really easy to be influenced. Exhibit A, okay? So if you need to be like in isolation, or just just try to make sure that whatever's influencing you, balance that, take it one step at a time. If you must, go cold turkey on the people, places, and things. But I know it's a process, but at the end of the day, God is always gonna show us the light, because we all have choices. The foundation here is, what will we choose? So that has been the message. Oh, and remember not to judge yourself, because again, I'm not doing this energy reading, sharing what I'm going through to like be one of those holier than thou. Like, obviously I wouldn't have this experience if I was, okay? Don't judge yourself. Do not feel guilty. Do not let the frequency take you down, because I do believe this makes us stronger. Though, from me to God, from God to me, God already broke it down that I should know better, and rightfully so. But do not judge yourself. I say this to say, because God knows your heart, and God knows you're stronger than whatever is happening on the outside. Heck, even on the inside. Okay? So hold on to that, and hold on to the faith. Because when you ask for help or when you're going through it, best believe God sees it, the good and the bad. Okay. Thank you for stopping by to my TED Talk and my little insights. As always, like I say, go on your journey in life. God is with you. God is with us. And He is closer to us than what we can imagine. Okay. He is one prayer away. But yeah. Now me being extra. Listen, guys. This is the end of this little spiritual insight. Hope you like it. Yeah.